Yes, I watched 2 on the fight. I know he fight with Michael Hunter. I watched that fight. It's that guy is not here to play. He here to put up against his career in the WBO division. But I'm here to make my job, to box him, to put him down. I think this is a good time to be in the heavyweight division for me and for everyone. I don't care. And I'm ready to take Fury, to take Joshua, to take everyone. I'm ready to do that.
Eu já assisti várias lutas dele, vitórias, derrotas. Inclusive ele já lutou com 3 brasileiros, um deles é amigo meu. E acompanho bastante ele, sei das qualidades dele e sei de onde ele tem ponto fraco também. Não sei, não tem como saber o futuro. Ele é um lutador agressivo e eu acho que a gente vai, eu acredito que essa luta, alguém vai ser nocauteado.
And there we heard from the heavyweight Carlos Takam, who needs this win. This is, to him, just a huge fight, because if he wins it, he stays in contention for the big one, the big heavyweight championship. And with basically the thin heavyweight division, a guy like Carlos Takam, who actually gave Anthony Joshua a couple of years ago a heck of a fight before Joshua stopped him late in the fight. Carlos Takam can legitimately fight just about anybody. I asked Carlos Takam more or less what he thought about Deontay Wilder, and he shook his head. He said that shows you that anybody in this heavyweight division, people who are counting on Deontay to win it, he didn't win it. He said, let me tell you something. I get in there with Fury, with Joshua, with Wilder, with anybody, I beat him. That's why this is such an important fight. Maldonado, though, he looks at it, this is what I've dreamed about, he said.
The knockout potential in this fight is huge because Takam has 37 wins and 28 knockouts. That's a 65% finish rate. On the flip side, Maldonado 26 wins, 25 by way of knockout. You don't need me to do the math to tell you we're going to see some fireworks.
No question about it. And Maldonado took me on the side and he said, I've watched Takam. I know he's strong. I know he can box. I know he can punch a little bit. He said, believe me, I'm a harder hitter than he is. And when you see this body, you're not going to be overly impressed. When you see my punching power, I think you will. I am stepping in that ring tomorrow night to win this fight, and all of a sudden the boxing world is going to be talking about me the way they're talking about Tyson Fury. Well, I don't know about that, because he's getting Tyson Fury, of course, beat Deontay Wilder.
Right.
Carlos Takam at 39 basically has his career behind him.
Okay.
He needs this win. He needs to come off this win here and quickly get back in the ring as soon as he can. There's no more time. He's got to work.
I do feel that every athlete, every fighter should feel that way. There is no time. Nothing is guaranteed to us in this life. People say to me, how you doing? I say, well, I woke up this morning. Everything else is downhill, so you have to take that into consideration. But what Carlos Takam and Fabio Maldonado are about to do will certainly be impressive. I hope.
So this is a packed arena. Another sellout show for Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing here at the Paramount on Long Island. Well, this place has been here forever, and again, I just commend this place. They've had comedy shows, and they've had musical shows. Groups have performed here. Stand-up comics have been here. My buddy Tracy Morgan has been here.
Your buddy? You chill with Tracy quite a bit, huh?
Yes, well, I love him. Tracy actually wrote the foreword to my book, Love Affair. Hey, let's go up to Cara Castronova.
Ladies and gentlemen, our co-main event of the evening is scheduled for 10 rounds of action in the heavyweight division. Let's bring out the fighters. Please welcome to the ring, all the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Fabio Maldonado.
All right, as Fabio Maldonado makes his way into the ring, the impressive 26 victories, 25 by way of knockout. That's what we're looking for here. This heavyweight out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, certainly has the opportunity to put in the work and show us what this great heavyweight division is about. 71 rounds of experience. Is that going to be enough to take down Carlos Takam?
We'll see. I mean, look, Carlos Takam has been in there with the best. Before he got stopped by Anthony Joshua, he was giving Anthony Joshua all he could handle. For a while early in that fight, it actually looked like Carlos Takam might win the fight. Wow. But the strength, the size, the punching power, the boxing ability, and everything of Anthony Joshua just took over. But it went 11 rounds. I think in a heavyweight fight, the most dangerous part of any fight is the first round.
Yes.
When even if you're in against an opponent who could punch, as Takam just may be in against an opponent with a good record who can bang. It's those first couple of rounds.
From Henderson, Nevada, make some noise for the heavyweight contender, Carlos Takam. Fight fans in attendance and to those watching around the world, here we go with the bout you've all been waiting for. This is the co-main event of the evening. Live from the Paramount in Huntington, New York on Fight.tv and the Fight Network, this bout is scheduled for 10 rounds of action in the heavyweight division. It's brought to you by Joe DeGuardia Star Boxing and sponsored by Modell Sporting Goods, the Tudor Advisory Group, 94.3 The Shark, Core BTS in association with Barracuda, the Inn at Fox Hollow, and Safety Mat, always in your corner. This contest is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. The three judges at ringside are John McKay, Tony Paolillo, and Marcel Varela. And inside the ring, controlling the action at the sound of the bell is referee Pat Sullivan. Huntington, are you ready? Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 237.4 pounds. He is wearing the black trunks. He comes to us tonight with a professional record of 26 victories, 3 defeats, 25 of those victories coming by way of knockout. Hailing from Sao Paulo, Brazil, introducing Fabio the Steel Redneck Maldonado. And introducing across the ring his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 256.8 pounds. He is wearing the black and gold trunks. He comes to us tonight with an impressive professional record of 37 victories, 5 defeats, 1 draw, 28 of those victories coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBF heavyweight champion of the world, hailing from Henderson, Nevada, by way of Cameroon, introducing Carlos Takam.
I like the condition that I see him in.
Absolutely.
When we saw him back
keep it clean. Touch gloves,
September, He was in good condition.
Right.
Not this good condition.
Do notice that he is bone dry, talking about Carlos Takam. And
Yes.
he brings in 20 more pounds than his opponent here. Actually, both fighters bone dry.
And in heavyweight matches, especially heavyweight matches, that could be a real detriment because you've got to get ready to throw. Because I have a feeling that Maldonado is not going to pull a Muhammad Ali and start running around this ring and jabbing.
You know, I mentioned Maldonado has 71 rounds of experience. Takam has 219 rounds of experience, 20 pounds on his opponent. You have to believe the odds favor Carlos Takam.
And remember what I said about heavyweight matches. Both guys are coming in with 100% tanks filled with gas.
Both guys 39 years of age, and that's experience. That's how you have to look at that.
The one thing that I thought that Takam had to work on was his hook.
Okay.
Jerry Cooney and I were watching his hook after the last fight, and Jerry said, you know what? He needs work on that hook. He doesn't get full leverage on it.
Ooh.
Nice body shot by Takam. Another one.
Slapping of leather against human flesh will never get old. Hard uppercuts there by Takam.
Nice right.
Man, oh man, already the welts appearing. Maldonado's going to have to do something. He cannot stand here with a man that has 20-plus pounds on him and absorb that type of punishment to the body.
Look, when you got 25 knockouts, you got to turn your hands loose. You can't stand in front of Takam hoping he's going to punch himself out. That's not going to happen.
And with all due respect, it begs the question, who did he knock out?
When you give a guy like Carlos Takam an opportunity to just open up on you, well, yeah, he can punch himself out, but the chances are he won't. Look at those right hands. I call them rib roasters.
Ooh.
Uppercut with the left hand.
There was a left coming off the counter there by Maldonado. It's the first thing I've seen out of him so far. Now we're right. Maldonado, though, has zero mobility, trying to work his way out. Nothing.
Maldonado came back with a sharp right hand to the cheek, which kind of stopped Takam in his tracks for a moment.
I like what Takam does there. There's the 219 rounds. He dips the shoulder and pushes when he has his opponent against the ropes. Just that veteran instinct.
And speaking of veteran referee, Pat Sullivan, refereeing now for about 20 years.
Takam just taking target practice here. Maldonado's walking away, turned his back on his opponent.
Like what was
You mentioned
that?
Roberto Duran earlier on in the night. Is Maldonado hurt? Maldonado doesn't want to fight.
No, he doesn't. You know what?
The referee's looking.
If he just quits right there, I hold his purse if I'm the commissioner.
Fair enough.
Couple of left
Low
hands.
blow there.
One went low to the body. You're right about it. Maldonado doesn't want to fight.
Really?
No, if anything, he's hoping that Takam punches himself out as we end round number one. That was a 10-8 round with no knockdown. That was basically a beatdown.
You know what? I'm gonna borrow a page out of your book.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the 10-8 round as well there, even though there was no knockdown. You know, you just saw the body language of Maldonado right now. He's standing in his corner, leaning on his ropes, whispering to his corner. This is not a man that wants to fight, and even the referee is saying you've got to sit down. I wouldn't be surprised if Maldonado doesn't answer the bell.
Very few fighters stand up between rounds. George Foreman stood up, but that was George Foreman. Here's a guy who didn't even look like he wanted to continue. Turned his back on 2 occasions. And the referee would not be wrong when a guy turns his back and walks away. Basically, you do that again, I'm counting it as a knockdown.
Fair, it's the referee's job to protect the fighter.
Exactly.
If the fighter turns his back, it's just incumbent on the referee now.
You know, you want to walk away from the fighter, but you don't turn your back.
True.
Let's see what happens, because I think Carlos Takam feels he can win this on a knockout this
Absolutely.
round.
I think we
And
all
he
do.
is putting some bad intentions on those shots.
And I like what I see here from Takam, and we've talked about the experience here. There's no frenzy here. There is still the game plan, still the work to be put in the second round of 10. Does Maldonado go 10? It's a rhetorical question. Good jab there by Takam. Oh, right hand follows right through. Takam pushing forward.
Maldonado's feeling them. You watch him take backward steps when he gets hit with a hard shot. Lunges in with a right hand.
Yeah, but even when Maldonado tries to get something off, there's nothing behind it.
Even though Maldonado is 28-3, he is in against a world-class fighter tonight, a top contender without a doubt. I mean, and he's learning what it's all about.
The only hope I could see, and it was just evident right there, is Takam's left hand is a little low, and he's turning his shoulder. Is there a right hook from Maldonado that could shock the world here tonight? Or at least shock Huntington?
and everybody watching on Fight.tv, you know, as you're watching this, call friends, let them know you're watching the co-feature, Carlos Takam, heavyweight contender. We still got one of the top 140-pounders in the world, Cletus Selden, after this.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he is the hardest single-shot hitter in the 140-pound division. But back to this one, Maldonado is throwing some shots now. Not much on those
right
shots.
hand from inside.
Oh,
the hook that you talked about from Takam. 2 to the body, 2 to the head.
But I'm telling you, he doesn't have the greatest hook in the heavyweight division. And I think with all that beef, he can have a better hook.
Well, you think hook, you think Joe Frazier, huh?
You know, Frazier, there's just so many guys. I mean, Anthony Joshua, nothing wrong with his
There's
hook.
a hook from Maldonado.
Andy Ruiz had a great hook the night that he beat Anthony Joshua last year. Carlos Takam has it all, and if he just puts a little bit more together on the hook and on that jab.
Wildly missing.
See, he's trying to end the fight right now with 20 seconds to go.
Why not? Maldonado trying to get off. Just seems to be off balance when he throws these punches. As you see Takam just leaning. Again, Takam has 20-plus pounds post weigh-in on him.
Couple of uppercuts. Those uppercuts are brutal. End of round number 2.
Notice there, Maldonado blew his nose. I remember the first time I ever met Floyd Patterson. He told me the one thing, I was a kid, fighter never wants to blow his nose. If you have a broken nose and you blow your nose, everything puffs up. Maldonado doing that right there showed me he's uncomfortable.
I had a Golden Glover one year who took a couple of hard shots. He got stopped. And after the fight, he said, you know what, can we just go out to a fast food place? And we were sitting there, and he took the soda and just held the soda on his face. And then all of a sudden, he went to blow his nose, and I looked at him, I said, don't blow your... And he did. He did. No. His both eyes blew up, like shut. You have never seen anything like it. And I saw what he's about to do. I was going to say, just dab at it, damn it, no! And he did. Well, Maldonado's taken some stiff uppercuts to the face, the nose. They are hard shots. And here we go again, round number 3. This one's scheduled for 10 rounds.
Watch out for a
Look
headbutt.
at those shots. You can feel them.
Way to get out of the way by Takam as Takam continues to stalk, throwing out that jab and setting up that right hand. Ooh, hard right hook.
Watch when Maldonado walks in behind the jab. He more or less pushes it, but when he gets hit with the jab, again, I'm going to go back to Mike Tyson.
Head.
Headbutt?
Yep.
Yep. The lights are in our eyes, kid. Is there a cut?
I don't see a cut, but the fight style was begging for this to happen. We got a timeout here, and now we resume.
Time in. Round number 3, 1 minute gone. Round number 3.
Now, what can this do to the psyche of Takam and the psyche of Maldonado? Something like that? Is that enough to turn the tide?
No, not at all. Because Takam is not badly cut.
Right.
I don't see any cut. Maybe there's going to be a swelling there. They should work on it in the corner, even if they don't see a swelling. Because when the heads bang, sometimes it takes a little while before that swelling pops up. I remember we were just talking about a guy getting nailed and then blowing his nose and his eye blows up. Because around the eyes, you've got nasal passages. And
Sinus.
if those nasal passages get injured and the fluid, the edema, rushes to that area and you blow it, it just fills the area up immediately.
Nowhere else for it to go, huh? The push of the shoulder and then some inside work and then an uppercut by Carlos Takam.
And those uppercuts are just brutal.
That might have been an elbow.
Yeah, they push off with their elbow a lot. Double.
Nice shot to the body, an uppercut there.
I think Takam looks so much better tonight than we saw him back in September. What he needs also is work.
Okay, good point. The close quarters fighting, though, that's the only thing that Maldonado has going for him. If Maldonado was on the perimeter, I don't think we'd be even watching round 3 of this fight. Look at the defense of Takam. Oh.
Takam using everything from cross-arm defenses to almost the shoulder roll, keeping his hands up a la Kenny Norton the way he used to do.
Bang, bang, bang. And Maldonado, his hands are low and he's content to absorb the punishment. Dare I say, does Takam not hit hard? Is that the reason Maldonado's still here? I can't imagine, and they're close to us. I don't want him to hear me say that. Honestly, 37 wins, 28 by KO. Maldonado's still in this thing.
In Maldonado's 3 losses, he has been stopped 1 time, and that was by contender Mike the Bounty Hunter.
It's a great name.
Well, that was actually his dad, Mike Hunter Sr. He called himself the Bounty Hunter, and out of respect to his dad, Maldonado was standing actually in the corner. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, Carlos Takam had dropped his mouthpiece. I thought he was saying, no, Maldonado, you're in the other corner.
And just to your point, the end swell does come out.
That is how to use an end swell. You don't just glide it easily on a guy's face. You almost press on
Push
it.
and move it out of the way, right?
Yeah. You know, I will tell you that years ago, I had an end swell that I kept in my refrigerator, in my freezer. Why? Because with little kids running around, you never know what happens. One day, my daughter actually walked behind a swing, and the girl on the swing caught my daughter, who was about 4, under an eye. Her eye blew right up. I took the end swell, and for about 20 minutes, I worked on it. No swelling whatsoever. She did have a black eye,
Okay.
but there was no closing of the eye because I worked on it with the end swell. If I could do it with a little girl like that, these professional cornermen who only have 1 minute.
That's right.
The trick with the end swell is to lean heavy on it. It is not. It doesn't feel good. It hurts.
And you're moving the fluid away from the bone and from the area.
Exactly. You pull it back towards the ear.
Good body shot there by Carlos Takam, who continues to do what he's been doing for 3.5, 4 rounds here, coming forward like a bull. Big uppercut there. Maldonado, though, I have to say, from the first round to now, at least he's game. At least he's here.
He is very game because in the first round we thought that he wanted to go home. And I truly, if I was a commission member, if I was back in my old seat and he had quit,
Withhold the
it's
purse.
like he doesn't speak much English. I would have said to him, no fuerte, no dinero.
Well, right now, Carlos Takam may be making Fabio Maldonado earn his money.
He's hurt.
Takam chopping away.
Floundering. Veteran referee Pat Sullivan breaks him up.
Maldonado is not on, he's on jelly legs here.
And watch Pat Sullivan.
Bang, bang.
Watch Pat Sullivan's face. He's watching everything about Maldonado.
Nice uppercut on the inside, going to the body, trying to get those hands down. At some point, something's coming over the top here from Carlos Takam. Maldonado has to get out of there.
Right now, this is work for Carlos Takam. He's just working, getting some rounds and getting some time in. He's not fighting at 100%. If he was, I think Maldonado would be out of here. I think he really wants the work. But you risk taking a shot, headbutt, elbow, whatever.
Anything.
If I'm in his corner at the end of this round, I say to Carlos Takam, get him out of there. I want you to
this fight.
Empty it.
The way Takam comes. Straight right hand. I get visions of Evander Holyfield in the twilight of his career when I see Takam.
Well, when you talk about Evander Holyfield, at any point in his career, you're talking about one of the greats of all time.
Takam almost smiling at the fact that he knows that Maldonado now knows that Maldonado cannot connect.
Maldonado trying his hardest right here, but really taking a beat down.
You have to wonder if Takam is saying, what do I got to do to get rid of this guy? Because honestly, Maldonado is still standing in front of Carlos Takam.
Well, again, if I'm in the corner of the man from Cameroon, Carlos Takam, I tell him, get rid of him.
Absolutely.
Get rid of him. Put him to sleep.
Yep. You say Douala, Cameroon. I think of Raja Mila from the Cameroon national soccer team. I believe it was in 1990, maybe? I don't know.
Look at you.
Shout out to Cameroon.
We always tell the fighters, see how they sit, how he's sitting with his hands on the rope?
Yes.
We tell him, get your hands off the rope.
It means you're tired.
Exactly. I don't want to see it. I can't see Maldonado going much longer.
Nope,
He
needs a
is
knockout.
fighting, absolutely just fighting on heart alone.
You know, there is still something to watch here. Of course, we see that Carlos Takam should be ahead and is dominating, but we talk about the heart of a fighter, and look, we see Maldonado still coming forward. Maldonado could easily get on his bicycle and you know, ride away, so to speak, but he still continues to come forward, and that in and of itself has to get some type of acknowledgement.
It does. I mean, I got the utmost respect for what I'm seeing from Maldonado. The first round, had he quit,
Different conversation.
I really, right, totally different conversation. But speaking of combination, that was a combination by Takam. You know, I'm wondering if in his mind, Takam is saying, you know what, this guy's not going anywhere. I'm just going to pick my shots now. Step back, wait for that big right hand, wait for that. Again, he doesn't have that one punch.
That's
hook.
evident. That's evident, yeah.
He's got a nice uppercut, throws it nice to the body, nice hook there. Obviously been working on that hook because he didn't have that hook back in September.
Well, it's a great testament to his dedication to the sport at 39 years old and 219 rounds of experience before this fight to still work on something, to still try to be better.
Heavyweight division outside of Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. It's Deontay Wilder still there. It's Andy Ruiz. Got to prove to us he's more than
a lot of names. Yeah.
More than he's a talented fat guy. Nah, he did it himself. Joseph Parker. The young guys coming up. The heavy hitters. F.A. Jagba, Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce, Tony Yoka.
Yeah, there's just so much going on, and honestly, it just says how great boxing is and where we are in this great sport. And you can't forget guys like Dylan White and guys like Luis Ortiz.
And I actually forgot. That was a perfect. Dillian White might be as good as anybody out there. And just being ducked, and ducked. It is time. 2020, he's got to get his title shot. And a man who hangs around, just keeps coming back with win after win is Derek Chisora. Hey, I'd love a 45-year-old guy, 46 even, Amir Mansour, to get one more shot just because of his big heart. Final seconds, round number 5.
You know, I do have to say that the entire card that Star Boxing has put on was really orchestrated very well, because it showcases all the different great weight classes. It showcases from heavyweight all the way down what our sport can bring, and it takes a lot to put on a card from soup to nuts, from beginning to the end, and I commend the matchmakers at Star for really, really displaying boxing in a great light.
We saw the very competitive fight at welterweight level between Alex Vargas and Tony Sanchez. Very spirited fight. We saw a second-round knockout by Wendy Toussaint, one of the brightest prospects, not just on Long Island or in New York, but in the US of A, in the 154-pound weight class. We have seen some real good action here. Hey, we saw Prince Slaughter with a second-round knockout in a lightweight bout. I like what I saw from him making his professional debut.
Yeah, it really was. It's been a buffet of brutality, so to speak, here, and I'm loving it.
A buffet of brutality. I'm going to steal that.
It's all
line.
yours. I owe you everything for tonight, my friend. Back to the action. Pounding away is Carlos Takam.
Round number 6, scheduled for 10. If you were wagering on this one, were you going to wager that Maldonado was not going to make it through 10 rounds? I would have bet just about anything that he wouldn't, but we're only in the 6th. How much can he take? I don't have him winning a round. I have him losing 2 of the rounds, 10-8, without him even being down. He is trying. He's trying with the left hook, but there's nothing on that left hook right now.
Nothing at all, because he doesn't have the room to throw it. There's not enough torque. There's no power behind it, just from the legs alone. These are just plodding shots.
But they're not on the part of Carlos Takam. He is basically given Maldonado a leather shampoo. There you go.
I do like what I've seen from the uppercut out of Takam. It's one of my favorite punches in boxing because it's so effective.
Not many guys throw it that
Not at all. Ooh, hard left
There's
hand
a nice hook. I'm telling you, he didn't have that hook in September. There's that uppercut you're talking about. Again, the left uppercut. Again, the left uppercut.
And push.
Again.
Look at it. It's uppercut and push. Uppercut and push.
Just give me a little room here. Oh,
Here
Maldonado
comes Maldonado.
comes back with 3-4 shots. That's the first time he's done that. He is willing to slug it out.
Maldonado is just, when he dips his head like that, Maldonado, he's just wide open for Takam's heavy hands.
Right on the belt line. They weren't dreadfully low. They're on the belt line. Referee Pat Sullivan lets Takam get away with it. Oh, look at those rib roasters.
Honestly, Maldonado needs to fire, at least appear busy here when you're so close. The hands just aren't moving from Maldonado.
Not at all. His earlobes are taking a beating. I got to tell you, tomorrow he's not going to be able to touch his earlobes. Oh, look at that left hook, a double hook to the side. You could hear it from our Star Boxing ringside position.
Now, all night long, I've been mentioning classic fighters. When I hear that thud, I think of, remember Michael Stokes?
Oh,
and he would just, ha, ha, and that's what you would hear as just a pounding of flesh.
I'll tell you something about Michael Stokes. Michael Stokes, who fought when I was commissioner, he fought in New York a lot. During training, didn't believe in taking showers, so he kind of just wiped himself down with alcohol. He was not a pleasant guy to be around come fight time.
Got it.
As I could hear all our listeners going, oh. Former I believe WBA heavyweight champion Michael Stokes. There was a guy with a lot of talent and just went down the wrong way.
Yeah, it was Mike Stokes, Mike Weaver. That was the big rivalry, and then after that, the names kind of started to fade away. But as one name goes out, a new name comes in, and We're looking at Fabio Maldonado, who, if nothing else, has attached the term grit or warrior to his name here tonight.
I'm scoring a lot. I have scored now, of the 6 rounds, 3 rounds, 10-8 for that man, Carlos Takam. And there's been no knockdown.
No, not yet, at least.
But I do have it 60 to, what do we got? 51, 60 to 51. It's a runaway for Carlos Takam. And I would think that Fabio Maldonado needs a knockout.
Yes, I would agree.
Fabio told me at the weigh-in yesterday, I said, who's your favorite fighter? You got any? Yeah. He said, no English, but I know Favorito, Joe Frazier.
Okay. Well, he's going to certainly have to start to swing some hooks here. There you go. There's a left hook.
I noticed that the New York State Athletic Commission doctors are getting up between rounds.
Yes.
And if this does go to a bell in the 7th round here, we'll see if we can check into the Maldonado corner, because I think we're going to see the New York State Athletic Commission doctors. They can recommend that this fight be stopped. And of course, Maldonado will not be happy about it.
Well, it's the safety of the fighter.
Of course.
I mean, a lot of shots to the head, a lot of shots to the body. You start to worry about internal bleeding, and you start to worry about some other things when getting hit in the head and the body so often.
See, those shots that Maldonado are landing, most of them are not clean shots.
No.
The left hand has nothing on it. There you see him off balance with his right foot forward.
Pushing. And again, it's we talked about it earlier. We forget about it. Takam came in at 256. Maldonado came in at 237. So that's even more impressive that Maldonado's still there. Oh, maybe he won't be for long, though.
Minute 15 remaining in round number 7. How Maldonado is taking all these shots is just beyond us.
It was a great shot over the glistening, brolic back of Carlos Takam. Just been laying waste to Fabio Maldonado.
Patrick Sullivan just glanced over his shoulder. I think he might have been looking at the commission. It is not going to surprise me if they stop this fight.
Talk to me about Maldonado's bravado, his hubris. Come on, come on, come on. I mean, who are you fooling?
First round, I was not happy with him because we thought he was going to pack it in. On 2 occasions, he basically turned his back on Carlos Takam. Since then, he has been hanging on the inside, getting beaten up, and he won't quit.
What about the psyche of Takam? Does Takam start to question himself? Does he, whoa, maybe not.
No, because you can't knock everybody out with one shot.
Here we go. Backed into the corner, Maldonado with an underhook, trying to get out of there, spins around, and now it's Takam in the corner.
Not for long. You know, you can question yourself if the guy was 3 and 25. He's 25 and 3.
Great point.
But now let's check over in the corner because we're gonna. And on the right of your screen is the Maldonado corner, and you're gonna probably see some inspector come up, and you're gonna have some officials coming up from the New York State Athletic Commission.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the trick here is try not to make eye contact with the doctor, try not to make eye contact with the commission, right? Now it seems that he's talking to the doctor. This doctor's saying, keep your hands up.
In the house tonight,
that is one of the doctors there on the left with the beard.
14-0 with 9 KOs.
This commission does as much as anybody to protect the fighter. And Pat Sullivan just walked over and said something to the corner of Carlos Takam. And I believe he also said something. You know, referees a lot of times will go over to a corner and say to a guy, you've got to show me something.
Sure.
And I think that says it all. Bang, bang, left, right. Solid shots right from the get-go. Hooks to the body, right hand to the body.
So Left hook from Maldonado that put some sweat off of Takam's head, but again, I just don't think anything Maldonado lands is going to have any effect whatsoever. Oh, careful there.
But watch, as they're together banging, watch the referee, an experienced ref, Pat Sullivan. He's going to be looking at both fighters, but mainly he is looking at Fabio Maldonado.
Maldonado's hands are a little bit busier here. They haven't been busy at all in this fight. I mean, I would love to see a CompuBox punch statistic of how many thrown to landed Takam and Maldonado have. I'd love to see the ratio.
That really would be a staggering number, one-sided number. Usually heavyweights throw around 55, 60 punches around the most. Takam, and we haven't been counting, throwing a lot more than 55, 60 around.
This close quarters fighting here that Maldonado has elected to take this route throughout this entire fight. Maybe does Maldonado try to fight from the perimeter here? I mean, what else does he have to lose? Other than his teeth.
Skin. Nothing on that left hand of Maldonado.
Nothing at all.
Oh, you know, you get to the point where if you are Carlos Takam and you're trying to show the heavyweight division that you deserve a title shot, you got to end it at some point. You got to make people say, "Oh my God!"
So this is what Takam has been doing in this round. He did it 3 times. It's the hook, it's the shot to the body, followed up by the left hand, and it really is starting to pay dividends here. Look at Takam just with that shoulder dip. It's almost inviting subconsciously Maldonado to come on in. Bang, bang.
45 seconds remaining. Round number 8.
Watch the high-low attack, the body shot, and then the shot to the head. Maybe we'll see more of it if we get to a 9th round.
See, just pounding, trying to pound. A couple shots went a little bit low by Maldonado, but he's got nothing on that left hand, nothing. Not sure I'd want to get hit with the left hand, but for Carlos Takam, it really looks like Maldonado is throwing spitballs at a battleship.
Yeah, it's more bothersome than anything else. Oh.
No. Okay.
Is that an exhausted man right there? Maldonado will make it out of this round. Maybe not.
Only because he threw a lot of shots back. I made it a 10-9 round.
Okay, that was nice of you.
But you see Pat Sullivan, I don't know if he just said, "I'm going to stop it." I think he just said, look at his hand motion.
Yeah, he held up a 1 finger and then he went like he's stopping. Either this is the last round or I'm going to end this now. Let's see. Referee is watching Maldonado intently as we look into Carlos Takam's corner. There's a story going on the other side of the ring, but Takam's corner works on their fighter. Here we go. Now you get a look. Maldonado doesn't want water. Referee's in there. That's the doctor there. My, oh my, I gotta tell you, I gotta applaud Fabio Maldonado. Yeah. I really do. Time.
And what is...
Here we go.
The round starts.
The
Referee
doctor's
Pat
gonna check
Sullivan
him.
talking to the corner. He just looked at Carlos Takam and said, "Stay there in that neutral corner."
He's okay to go. I like that. I like the safety of the fighters there, trying to see if the pupils are dilated, trying to see if there is any evident damage from all these heavy shots that Fabio Maldonado has been taking.
Pat Sullivan has been around. He knows a beatdown when he sees one. And the commission, he's looked over to the commission a few times. They're just not going to let this. If this is another round like we've been watching throughout, they are going to stop the fight.
Yeah, and why shouldn't you? I mean, we love the sport.
Right.
We love our fighters, but you can see referee very close there, very close. But I will say, Maldonado is keeping his hands kind of moving. A couple of more of these and this one's over.
You know, let's say and I've got this a runaway. I've given every round to Carlos Takam. I think you have too. Several rounds I've given it 10-8.
Yep.
I think Pat Sullivan getting ready now. But let's say it was an even fight.
Okay.
Do you let it go on?
Yes.
But let's say the rounds that Maldonado won were close. The rounds that Takam one-sided like this. This is a one-sided round.
Yeah, exactly. It's a one-sided fight. That's the thing. If I have seen anything from Maldonado at all, if I have seen his 9 and 10-9 rounds, if they were effective and present, then I'd say by all means keep this going.
If you're watching this on Fight.tv, do you stop the fight? I can hear some of you say, no, Maldonado could come up with that shot.
Right.
I understand that, and he's got a nice right hand. He has been landing it sometimes. I say you end the fight. And look at that. Look at that.
And that in and of itself may be the only reason that the referee isn't stepping in, unless that's for all my psychology majors out there. It's Maldonado's way of saying, please someone stop this. Please someone stop this. As these two bang on the inside, Takam tries to get some distance there, and once he did that, Maldonado did land. If Maldonado can come up with something on the perimeter, maybe, just maybe, there's an opportunity.
Fabio Maldonado has not shown us much inability or punching power tonight. He has shown us cojones.
Yes, he has. There's something to be said. Anyone that laces up gloves has to have the intestinal fortitude.
I'm going to come up with my own, at the end of the year, the Fabio Maldonado Courage Award.
There you go.
That's one of the first times that he's grabbing.
Up, takes a knee. Is that out of exhaustion? Now, if the referee was going to stop it, that would have been the time.
10 seconds to go. We are going to make it to a 10th and final round. I cannot believe it.
Wow. I applaud the effort of Fabio Maldonado. Maldonado lost his last 3 fights. The last one, you mentioned the TKO. Then there were 2 unanimous decisions that he lost here. Depending on what happens here in this next round, it looks like Maldonado's heading to another unanimous decision loss. But before that, he won the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So many fights. Knockout, knockout, TKO, knockout. Want to thank BoxRec.com for all their great information. Fight fans can always go to that site to find out anything they want. Man, oh man, this is just a tale of 2 fighters here. The Carlos Takam is just destroying Fabio Maldonado.
I love BoxRec. Where was BoxRec when I was the editor-in-chief of Ring Magazine in 79, 80, 81, when I was doing the Ring record book on file cards and a typewriter?
Oh my gosh.
Here we go, it's round number 10. Man, I would have bet anything this wouldn't have seen round 4.
100%, I agree. I would have taken that action as well. You know something, folks?
That's why we don't bet.
And never question the heart of anyone, man, woman, or child even, that chooses to compete.
You know, if I'm the PR team of Carlos Takam after this fight, which he will win, you say, well, I wanted to work. I wanted to go 10 rounds, and I did my best to try to get the 10 rounds of work. Because you could sell that.
Absolutely, I agree.
But quite frankly, this fight never should have seen 10 rounds.
No, not at all. And I love your point about spinning it. I mean, remember the world from which I come, pro wrestling, you got to spin everything here. But you do make a good point, and perhaps, look, we don't know. Perhaps that was Takam's plan. At some point in the 3rd or 4th round, his corner leaned in and said, listen, don't get hurt, but get the work in.
But you never know in the sport. And I mean, with Deontay Wilder last week, they said, why'd he stop the fight? We have the punching power. We could have won. How do you know he was going to land it? Maybe he was going to take 1 shot too many.
Good point.
Maldonado has shown us so much courage. I am like a big Fabio Maldonado fan now.
And it's nice about this and really any other sport when you can try to find a way to juxtapose the narrative, to look at it from the other side and say, man, oh man, that team or that guy or that player lost, but what did I learn about them in the process? That's why I love boxing. Oh my gosh, and that's also why I love boxing.
Maldonado just eats a stiff jab that rocks him
comes
back.
forward.
And look, he's talking to Takam.
Push jab there by Takam. Maldonado has come across 3/4 of the ring after that hard shot. And that punch was just a blind shot there. And here comes Takam.
Right hand and then 3 stiff jabs.
Oh,
Another right
is
hand.
that it? Is that it? Man, oh man.
What is keeping him up? Referee Pat Sullivan, 1 hard punch away.
Yes.
He's got to be ready to stop this fight.
Absolutely. Takam with a low-hanging left, stalking with the right, brings the left hand. There's the over-the-top right, but an overhand right from Maldonado lands.
And the fans of not stopping the fight say that's why you don't stop a fight.
Yeah.
But that's all he's got. There's nothing more than that. Heavyweight contender Carlos Takam will win his next fight. Got the rounds in, but boy, did he have to work.
And there you go.
It is over. Carlos Takam should be giving him a big hug, saying, man, I have never seen heart like yours.
Huh. Look at that.
Those 3 pats right there said it all. Carlos Takam knows he was in against one tough heavyweight.
Absolutely. Some great heavy hitting here. I mean, honestly, and what a way to whet our appetite for what's coming next.
Oh, yeah. And we'll talk about that in a moment, but easy. I think all 3 scorecards going to be 100. It's what the other side is going to be. I say that 80, see mine is 86 because I had 1, 2, 3, 4 of the rounds 10-8 with no knockdown.
I have 88, so there you go.
You're not going to see it. More than likely, you're going to hear scores of 100 to 90, 100 to 90, and maybe 99, 91.
That would sound right to me.
But at home, I really would like you guys occasionally to try it. Say, you know what? You got the points. You got 10 points to the winner of the round, 9 or less to the loser.
I remember as a kid.
If it's a competitive round, you make it 10-9.
Yep. Yeah, I remember as a kid scoring fights in my living room with my dad, and it really is a great way for the viewer to be a part of the fight, and then for all of us to say, well, what did the judges see? And I really like what you've introduced. You've educated me on different ways to score a fight.
That way, when there's a fight that, let's say, one guy wins 6 rounds, the other guy wins 6 rounds, but the guy who won, one of the guys won the 6 rounds more than the other guy, he won them 10-8. Yes. The other guy won competitive rounds. They were competitive rounds 10-9. I like scoring using the points. If you knock the guy down, it's 10-7. If you beat him up and knock him down, I wouldn't mind seeing 10-6, especially if there's 2 knockdowns and you beat him up. And let's say the referee didn't stop the fight when he perhaps should have. I have scored around 10-5. And when I was the commissioner in New York, we used to have the judges do it. They would do that all the time. And do you know, in 7 years when I was commissioner, we never had a controversial decision.
Because of what you just laid out there.
But when everybody, when you start scoring 10-9, 10-9, 9-10, 10-9.
Open yourself to some problems.
But a lot of rounds are not 10-9.
Correct.
They are more one-sided without the knockdown.
Now, you remember the old 15-round fights. Could you imagine if this one went into the championship round?
Oh, my goodness. The way we saw Maldonado, he might have gone 15 rounds. We know who won, Carl.
Ladies and
Tara's
gentlemen,
gonna make it
we
official.
have a unanimous decision. Judge Paolillo scored the bout 100 to 90, and Judge McKay and Varela both scored the bout 100 to 89. For your winner from Henderson, Nevada, Carlos Takam!
No question there, unanimous decision. But I gotta tell you, whatever lack of respect or respect or whatever it was that Carlos Takam felt for his opponent at the weigh-in yesterday, they are leaving absolutely friends. And I know that down the road, if I ever say to Carlos Takam, remember Fabio Maldonado? He'll say, oh, yeah, I remember Fabio Maldonado.